Hi there. So today I just wanted to go through some of the things that were normally most commonly asked when we're at the stand at the conference. Because we can't be there in person this year, we're putting this short video together. So I'm going to focus mostly on the order form and just filling it out, prescription writing a little bit, and hopefully you'll get a better understanding. So there's some things that we need to know about the patient before we can process the order. We obviously need to know the patient's name. We also need their weight and shoe size. Their weight will determine the shell thickness depending on the type of material that you choose. And then the shoe size will depend on the length of the top cover to ensure that it fits in the shoe correctly. The other thing that we would recommend that you do supply us with, although it's not necessary, is the footwear type that the patient is wearing. If it's a builder's boot, a Wellington boot, a trainer, office shoes, let us know, and then we know that the specs that you're choosing will fit good within that shoe. If the patient is going to try and get it into various different shoes, you can tell us that too, and we'll work around that. As well as that, it's also good to supply their date of birth. If they're under 16, they're automatically enrolled into an outgrowth scheme, and you can see the details on that in the back of the catalogue. So when it comes to choosing your device type, basically what you're trying to do, assuming that the foot will tolerate correction, you're trying to choose a design that's going to best fit in their shoe. So there's a couple of things that differentiate between the device types. You'll see here, that's the section where you choose your device type, and you will get a list of all of the specs within the catalogue. They come in the same order also. So if you're choosing a rigid device, you're most likely going to choose a functional, dress, or sports device. And here I have 3 samples. And the main difference between those are a couple of things. The grind, which is the width of the device at the heel, MLA, and distal shell edge. The heel cup, depth, and if it has a cushioning top cover or not. But mostly it's about the grind, because you can always change the heel cup depth and the top cover as you wish. So here you can see the difference. This one here is the dress, and it's the widest grind with the deepest heel cup. Here is the functional, and it has a mid grind and about a 12mm heel cup. And then that's your dress device. So that has a narrow grind and an 8 to 10mm heel cup. So again, you're trying to get a design that's going to specifically fit in the shoe that the patient wears most often. If you need an accommodative device, we have a range too of EVA. This one here is an RA soft mold. It's quite soft and flexible. And this one here is a diabetic tri-density. Okay, so that's more for your specific patients if they're diabetic, rheumatoid arthritis, or if they just wouldn't tolerate a very rigid shell. We also have a range of orthotics for kids, and as you can see, you can choose a more color top cover if you wish. This one here is the gate plate device, and this one here is the UCBL, so it has a very deep heel cup. I'll just speak briefly about shell materials. So we have polypropylene shell that comes in 2 forms, vacuum formed and direct milled. We also, with polypropylene, it's a fantastic all-rounder. You can do your shell modifications, and you can also do deep heel cups. You're not very limited with polypropylene. You can manipulate it in lots of different ways, and it doesn't compromise the shell material whatsoever. Performance RX is a poly combination material, and it is a little bit lighter and thinner, but it does come with some limitations that I won't bog you down with right now. Then we have 2 carbon fiber materials, XT Sprint and TL2100. XT Sprint is a fantastic material. It looks like this here, and it has a sagittal plane spring in it, but it doesn't rotate. So it's very good for your more active patients, maybe athletes, that kind of thing. Then Delrin is another milled material, and that one is very good and very robust for your heavier patients, as is the TL2100. That's just some of their unique selling points. They all have their own characteristics, but that's just to skim on the surface really more than anything. We've also recently launched a 3D printed sustainable material shell, and if you'd like to know more information on that, just let us know. We just launched it in September and it's proven really popular already. So with rigidity, by default, all of our devices generally are semi-rigid devices, not too rigid, not too flexible. Just one thing to bear in mind, anything that you do add to the plantar aspect of your device, whether it's a pour-on arch fill or an EVA arch fill, extrinsic posts, it does add rigidity because you're reducing flex. So then we talk a little bit about materials, top cover materials, bottom cover materials, and mid layers. So there's a few more popular ones. Vinyl would be a popular one. It's thin, it's wipeable, very easy to use. And then we have puff, which is this material here, and it's like an EVA. It's nice and grippy and it wears really well. If you want a cushioning top cover, this combined with pour-on, heel to toes, is very good. Or if you wanted it just as a forefoot extension, so the mid layer of pour-on doesn't cover the shell, it's just in the forefoot, you can get it to sulcus or to toes if you're trying to reduce bulk. Another one that we have is neoprene. So that's neoprene there, and it's the same material that's used for wetsuits. And that one comes in 3mm only. We have a range of materials here, and as you can see, there's quite a lot. If you're ever unsure of what to choose, you can ask us. We also have one that's specifically for excessive sweaty feet, and we have your natural materials like leather and microsuede. But again, if ever unsure, just let us know and we can guide you. We do put bottom covers on all of our devices that go past the distal shell edge, whether it's to protect additions and extensions or just the top cover in general. So once it goes to sulcus or toes, we will put a bottom cover on it. We generally choose a bottom cover based on what's most durable with the shell that you've chosen, but you can choose whatever bottom cover you wish yourself. So then we have postings, which is very patient specific, and I won't get bogged down in that right now. If you ever have any questions on that, also give us a shout. Then your cast dressing is more or less the tissue spread and how much room we allow, whether it's a really close fit or it's not too controlling on the other end of the scale. Again, the default for cast dressing would be minimum, so it allows for a certain amount of tissue spread. And then when we talk about your shell modifications and your additions, all of those are explained in the back of the catalogue. And if I just take, for instance, here, the reverse Morton's extension, it tells you what the material it is made up of, where it's placed. So it's 3mm cork and it's placed 2 to 5. So it starts here and goes to 5. And you would use it for a plantar flex first ray and you don't use it for hallux limitus. So that just gives you an idea. It tells you all of that information here. So when you need to use it and when not to use it. We also have an 8-week warranty. So after we dispatch the devices to you, if there's something that you want to change, once it doesn't change the shell completely, you can change the soft materials free of charge. You just need to send them back to us. So we'd ask you to give your patient 4 weeks to wear the devices in. If there's still any niggles, send them back to us and we'll change them for you. If you would like me to chat to you in more detail about the product range or the shell materials, top covers, the order form or the order form breakdown, please contact us and I'll happily arrange a Zoom to go through it all with you personally one-to-one. I hope that helped. Thank you very much and take care. Enjoy the conference.